It's easy to forget just how powerful Blender really is, especially if you haven't seen how the pros are using it. So this week, let's take another look at some insane Blender demos from the professional world. Starting off with this Jameson ad by Alex Sadiev. Like most high-end projects, the simulation was done in Houdini, but everything else from lighting and shading to texturing and materials was all Blender. And honestly, you'd swear the rendering was done in V-Ray. Just look at those reflections. Crisp, clean, perfect. It's the kind of work that reminds you, if your renders look bad, switching programs won't save you. You just gotta level up your skills, boy. And it's not just ads, Blender is making waves in game trailers too. Take this one for Hela by Firthark Studios. Everything you see here was made entirely in Blender. It's crazy that you have to dig deep into the corners of the internet to find gems like this, because most Blender users still don't realize how far the software has come. Too many people still treat Blender like it's just a stepping stone into the 3D industry, thinking the pros use something else. That's exactly why I make these videos, to show you that the professional world is already using it. I mean, how much more proof do you need? We've seen an NFL ad, now a AAA game trailer, and there are still countless hidden gems out there waiting to be discovered. And speaking of games, here's Kassin showing off his Beretta M9 reload animation, and man, what I'd give to see the full process behind this. Even a simple time-lapse would be gold. The attention to detail, the timing, the weight in every motion, it's just so clean. Everything moves with that perfect balance of realism and style. Next time you're playing an FPS, remember, there's a good chance that slick reload animation you're looking at was made in Blender. It goes without saying that Blender is the most used 3D program for animation on YouTube. But did you know that Kurzgesagt also uses Blender for their animations? Yep, even though their style looks completely 2D, it's all done inside Blender. They've even shared a few behind-the-scenes videos breaking down how they pull it off. So if you're thinking about starting an animation channel, stick with Blender. It's going to pay off sooner than you think. And who knows, if you get good enough, one of these big channels might even hire you. Another area where Blender is absolutely thriving, way beyond most other apps, is the music video scene. Rei Wakui, a Japanese video director, uses Blender extensively in his work to create those surreal, otherworldly scenes, transitions, and effects that really stick in your mind. And honestly, Blender is built for that kind of creativity. With Blender 5.0 giving the video sequence editor some serious love, it might just become all you need for your entire workflow. Here's also a cool bubble test they did, using geometry nodes to generate underwater bubbles. When you're creating as many effects as they do, you end up running tons of these little tests. It's all part of refining the look, experimenting, and finding that perfect balance before it makes it into the final shot. This guy is the GOAT of anime renders. Every now and then he drops an anime test, experimenting with new techniques, and this time he's showing off hair. This kind of stylized art is practically its own genre, and mastering it is no easy task. Your regular principled BSDF won't cut it here, and PBR textures are pretty much useless. You have to learn a whole new way of rendering, where lighting behaves differently, and shadows are used more as artistic tools than realistic ones. He also made this amazing animation of a character coming alive right inside Blender's 3D viewport. The idea alone is mind-blowing, but what really stands out is the execution. Anyone can dream up something cool, but pulling it off this flawlessly, that's a whole different level. Every now and then, I go on a little hunt for indie games that use Blender as part of their pipeline. And look at what I found. Leafy Corner is a cozy plant shop game you can already wishlist on Steam. The team uses Blender to model and texture all the plants and geometry nodes to handle the growth animations. Unreal Engine powers the game itself, but Blender is behind the animation and asset creation. In the game, you run a small plant shop where your job is to recommend the right plants to customers. You can grow over 60 different houseplants, chat with visitors, and slowly expand your shop into a thriving little business. It's charming, relaxing, and a perfect example of how Blender keeps showing up in unexpected corners of the gaming world. Continuing with games, you'll start to notice something interesting on this journey. There's a real crossover between Blender artists and indie game devs. A perfect example is Specooler, a well-known 3D artist and the creator of the Cell Fluids add-on. Besides making Blender tools, he also builds content for Unity. And here's a look at his custom water system for a VR game he's working on. I've got to say, this looks seriously impressive, especially when the camera dips halfway into the water and you can see that perfect divide between the surface and the underwater view. It's that kind of detail that really shows how far both Blender and indie devs have come. Let's get back to Blender, and this time take a look at an ad made for Nissan. By the way, these are the same guys behind that NFL ad we saw earlier. They're steadily carving out their name in the ad industry, and if you're a Blender artist, I definitely recommend checking them out. See what kind of portfolio attracts paying clients. You can learn a lot just by studying how they present their work. What I really like is that they always post tests and demos to showcase what they can do. They've also got a show reel that pulls together some of their best work, and once you see the quality, you'll understand why big clients trust them. From game trailers and ads to motion graphics and product launches, these guys are showing exactly what's possible with Blender at the professional level. Finally, let me show you some of my own stuff. I've been working on a collection of looped animated clothes, and I even made an add-on that makes it super easy to import them directly into Blender. Here's a quick demo of how it works. You just pick the clothes you want, then use masks and built-in tools to hide or push different parts of the fabric so you can layer them perfectly on top of each other. I also have the Everything Pack, a collection of generators I've built over time, each designed to make scene creation in Blender faster and way more fun. This pack includes some of my personal favorites, like the debris tool, which makes it super easy to scatter debris around any object, perfect for adding realism and storytelling to your scenes. And here's the cool part. If you've made your own generators or downloaded others from somewhere else, you can add them into the Everything Pack. All you need is the .blend file and a thumbnail image, and they'll appear right inside the library, ready to use. From my pack, you'll get tools like the Destroyed Building Generator, perfect for post-apocalyptic or war-torn scenes, the Fireball or Sun Generator, the Debris Pile Generator, the Destroyed Road Generator, the Tornado Generator, and even a Missile Projectile Generator. And I'm still adding more. New generators are in the works, all focused on speeding up creativity and helping you build complex effects and scenes without starting from scratch.